Kanpai! Welcome, one and all, to episode 165 of Kanpai Cast, where, that's so cringe, you probably think this episode's about you.
Oh, Lord.
Before we get into it, a little bit of housekeeping, because we do that every time. The usual tricks, like, comment, subscribe. There's an audio version if you're plugging that into your RSS feed. There's Discords, Patreons, streaming. We all do. Everyone except me does something interesting after the show. So
Thaylien does something interesting in our chats, though. Like,
can I also shout out the news?
Some crazy guy.
You know, we do have the audio version of the cast and everything, but some people might not even know that we have the news
section.
Yeah, which is
every
like completely separate. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. GMT or 3 p.m. Eastern, whatever. Where we cover like the last week of anime news,
and it's not like releases and stuff, because anyone can find those. It's the more interesting things.
Mm-hmm. There's also the wonderful facts and rumors section, which if you become part of our Discord, you can contribute to. Ask and you shall find the answer, whether something is a fact or rumor, and it will be on the news show that week.
Yep. Or it should be.
When Xeno remembers.
When Xeno remembers. That's the hard part. Xeno don't remember nothing.
There's also lies in this housekeeping, but I'm going to turn them into hope. Xeno will soon be updating his Patreon, the tiers for subscription, with up-to-date rewards. So,
you ask so much of me.
Maybe I'll put them on my Patreon instead, and then...
You don't have a Patreon.
I do have a Patreon.
Nasuth has a Patreon. Yeah, so
I don't pay my Patreon. He gets to him anyway.
If Nasuth gets enough people on his Patreon, then Xeno won't have to pay him as much.
I don't think that's how that works.
Still, it's just a little bit cringe that Xeno still has references to the Xeno Codex, to Warframe troll builds, 10 o'clock, Arbiters, or these shows that shall not be named.
Yeah, wow, that is actually cringe.
That is a little cringe,
so should we move on to the...
absolutely.
Speaking of cringe,
come on over and join the fun.
Right. Oh, God, this chair is so uncomfortable. Jesus Christ.
So this is Xeno's topic this week, although I'm introducing it, which is about cringe in anime and what is cringe in the first place. So, for a bit of an intro, we'll hand on over to him and see what his research has has thrown up.
Oh my God, thrown up. Oh wow. Right. So the whole inspiration behind this is I keep on seeing like content creators that are of various different ages, primarily younger ones, like,
the
more
youths.
Like yes, as us millennials will say, the youths, that are constantly throwing shade at the younger generations, using the word cringe, and like what the hell does cringe even mean, and things like this. So this is very, very subjective, right? And I went away and I turned to our intern and I asked the intern, what is the urban definition of cringe? And the intern came back and wrote me a decent 3 paragraphs. In an urban slang, cringe refers to something that is embarrassing, awkward, or uncomfortable to witness, often in a way that makes the observer feel second-hand embarrassment. So if someone does something stupid, you're just like, oh my God, I feel so embarrassed just by the fact that you did this thing, right? I imagine Issei from High School DxD would fall under that. It can apply to actions, behaviors, or situations that are overly awkward, try hard, or socially out of touch. Again, very subjective stuff here. For example, a person who overly exaggerates their coolness or tries too hard to fit in might be called cringe. Similarly, a poorly executed joke or an attempt at humor that falls flat might also be described this way.
Cringe.
Yeah, it's often subjective as to what one person finds cringe. Might not be the same for someone else. Social media and memes have further popularized the term, with it being used to describe a wide range of awkward or socially uncomfortable moments.
Yeah, it's basically, like we were saying before the episode, it's basically the new version of uncool or lame or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Or insert derogatory term here that kids used to say in our generation.
Gamer word.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Oh, stop that. See, I had an interesting thought. It's the embarrassment version of another thing that happens in regular life. So where women won't necessarily get this, men definitely do. If they see another man get a crotch shot, it's like an AoE.
Yeah.
Okay, we all feel it as we witness it.
Oh god.
And that is because in the same way, because it's subjective. If you're a woman, you don't necessarily get that. So it's subjective. It is based on your point of view, based on your relatability to the effect, and but unlike that, the person that's actually causing it doesn't often feel it.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I think to emphasize the relatability, right, there is... people have seen funny videos like on, You've Been Framed, if you're in the UK. You see these like home video shows where they show someone doing something stupid or something stupid happens. Classic case, kid accidentally or pet's also good for this, accidentally headbutts the father in the balls, right? Every man will just go oh at the same time, right? It's they feel the spiritual pain equally.
Yes. More recently there's been a lot of trends on short form videos with like pet owners playing with a laser pointer and getting it to bite something that shouldn't be bitten.
Oh god.
Yes. And those ones, if the best ones, are always cut off right before it happens.
Yeah.
Because you still get it, but you don't have to watch the actual event.
Yeah.
That's mean.
So I think this also
and the opposite of cringe is based. Just so you're aware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we're not going to go into that.
We're not doing based anime. We're doing cringe anime.
Yeah,
exactly.
So again, it's all super subjective what people think are particularly bad shows and things. I ended up asking the intern, like, can you get me like 50 shows that are considered cringe? And at the top of the list, Sword Art Online. Which
I think that's more by viewership than by the actual level of cringe in it. But yeah,
quite possibly. But well, actually, I don't know how you say that, because third on the list is School Days. School Days is pretty damn cringe, right?
That's true.
Number 10 is My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute. Yep. Number 17 is Kiss Sis. Number 18 is Asterisk War, which I was kind of surprised. 19 is Darling in the Franxx. 21 is Kampfer. 22 is Rosario to Vampire.
I can get that.
25 is Future Diary. I just realised what that one is. 29 is Triage X. There's like so many.
Oh, we got Rent a Girlfriend here.
Yeah. So,
days. Do you love your moment or two get multi-target attacks?
Yes,
so I wanted to kind of touch base with this and kind of throw myself under the bus here and basically highlight a show that is exceptionally cringe, but personally, I'm okay with it. Right? I can tolerate the level of cringe in Keijo because I personally find it just that funny. Right? The whole premise of Keijo is it's a water sport that only just recently exists, where it's what
audio listeners could not understand.
Yep.
What you are looking at right now.
Yep.
Yes.
Her spine is broken.
In at least 17 different places.
Best way possible.
But the whole point is it's a water sport where effectively it's called kind of like water wrestling on little floating islands, except for you can't use your hands or feet or anything. You have to basically do it with your feminine assets. No, it's not just the butt. So and it's
body checking.
Basically, it is massively, I suppose, uncomfortable for a lot of people, but because of the sheer volume of stupidity, I'm fine with this. And it's all happy. Everyone's happy, right? I'm fine with how stupid this is, right?
Is it a case of it doesn't take itself seriously, and so because of that, it's leaning into the cringe, it's embracing it?
Ooh. I think I would refine that. That's a good question. But I would say, is it because the anime itself is self-aware enough to know it's being completely stupid, but the characters play it dead straight?
Yeah, so here's a question
Similarly
for you.
to the evidence in Shadow.
How can you identify these things? Because, how can you identify that something doesn't take itself seriously? What's the criteria for this?
Vibes.
Right? Is it fourth wall breaking? Is it just the concept in and of itself? Because, at no point in time does the show turn to the audience and say, by the way, we know this is stupid, right?
And
no show does
the
that.
evidence in Shadow, but clearly that is the intent. How would I describe that?
Okay, this is the thing. I think it's where no matter how absurd the situation, the characters believe it. That's how you can tell the show is entirely self-aware. Okay,
a show that is trying to be serious too. That is, earnestly doing
because
it.
Surprisingly, if the show is trying to be serious, then the situation isn't outlandish because of how silly it is. It's outlandish because it breaks whatever rules the show's doing.
Okay, good. That's actually I was just about to bring up The Witch and the Beast as an example of a show that takes itself too seriously.
Yeah. So when you've got a serious show that's trying to take itself seriously, but it then escalates into absurdity in a way that doesn't fit with the tone, that's. And the characters are still going along with it instead of going, wait, no, this is too much. What the hell are you doing to me? Then that, I feel, it shows the show is not self-aware. But Keijo, genuinely, you have the equivalent of of what's it, Gilgamesh from the Fate series, but in butts. Just a giant portals appearing and people's butts protruding because she's copied all the techniques of everybody else. It's like 1,000 butt attack.
I kind of get where you're coming from, but at the same time, there are plenty of serious shows that are like, this to me is what I would slap a label of cringe on, like Code Breakers and Death Note certainly fall under that. Like, they at no point in time.
I guess it's
okay.
It really is kind of vibe based, because if the show is trying to make you laugh, then then it's clearly comedy. But if it's not trying to make you laugh, then it's like if it's something like School Days where it's just trying to be over the top but serious, whereas Keijo is over the top and makes you laugh.
Just hear me out on this one, okay? Death Note is the ideal example of cringe.
Okay.
Elaborate.
In this context that we're talking about, where the show escalates into absurdity, breaking its own rules, right? And still tries to take itself seriously. Think about the internal debates that these characters hold. Okay?
And the lengthy monologues.
Yes, the lengthy internal monologues. Like, if I do this, then he'll know this. Then then I must not do that because otherwise. But if I go the other way, if I go too far the other way, he'll know this about me, and he'll understand that I'm thinking about this, and therefore I must walk this careful line between one choice and the other, because otherwise, no matter which one I go to, he will understand something about my thinking. Now, if you take those internal monologues out and just show each scene, it is minutes of time with the characters just staring at each other. And the funny thing is, they don't try and pretend that it's done instantly.
Yeah, because like
they don't try and freeze the action.
In one of the scenes where they took out all the internal monologues, which was hilarious, you can see Light, like shuffling through some papers and stuff. And so clearly, this is actually happening in real time.
Yes. At least in like the tennis match, they have the thing to slow down the time.
The speed lines and stuff. Things. Yeah.
Yes. Well, but then it's taking it to extremes. It's taking these internal monologues to an absolutely absurd extreme, and it's trying to take itself seriously even after that. All the characters are playing straight, we know that, but the show is still trying to play straight.
I think there is also a uncanny valley that needs to be respected. So, for example, anyone that's watched Rogue One, the Star Wars movie, there is a moment where there is a CG Carrie Fisher, young Carrie Fisher, at the end of the movie.
Oh, and God, yeah.
It slaps you in the face with uncanny valley, right? Because at one point in time... No. Because her upper lip just moves up in a completely unnatural way. Because you don't have muscles in your upper lip that actually just makes your lip just go up randomly.
Yeah, it's mostly your jaw that opens and which goes down.
It's not just that, but it's also like your muscles on the side of your mouth that you use to smile. That will actually pull your lip above your teeth and things like this. But your lip just can't just do that. Thalien's actually trying this, and
but
you're doing that.
You like that's
you can see these muscles.
You can't really
moving.
talk like
exactly.
That.
Yeah. You see,
wrong.
But at the same time, the reason why it's called the Uncanny Valley, and I love this, is because you know something is not right about what you're seeing, but you don't know what it is. And it's not until you have experts explain it to you do you realize, yep, that's exactly the problem. Right? I know, yes, I completely understand and appreciate this. And
Disclaimer, we are not experts.
Depends on the field.
Not in this field. Zeno is an expert in one field. I'm an expert in another field. Nasuth is an expert in another field, but we are not experts in this field.
I'm an expert in being cringe, and therefore...
fuck you, asshole! You stole my joke. It's like, you stole me. I was about to say, but Nasuth is the expert in cringe. Anyway, but the whole point is, I think that if you were to take the internal monologues and you turn them into, this was like that, the internal monologue was an instant.
Yeah.
I think that people would have a negative reaction.
Yeah.
Thinking to themselves, that's not right. For example, what colour are lobsters?
Blue.
They're blue, right?
Yeah. They're only when you cook them.
Why? Oh, sorry. I was going to say crabs because Sebastian's a crab. Sorry, my bad. But even so, the same point. Why is Sebastian depicted as red? Right? In The Little Mermaid.
Crabs that they would have seen are red.
Exactly. Yeah. Right?
Also to play into that joke where it looks like he's being cooked.
I doubt that was the the actual rizz. But that's the huge thing about it, is like people see things in a certain way, and if you depict them in another way, it's just like, no, that's not right, that's not natural. It's like, actually it is natural.
No,
right?
See, this is one of those things that I would say specifically in Death Note that comes into the thing of, this is why they're not actually smart, and not smart people written by a smart person.
Yeah.
Because it takes this much time for them to make that decision and make this what is supposed to be a snap decision to act a certain way and highlight how intelligent they are by having them calculate these variables really quickly and do something very, very snappy, in the anime, make these decisions. And because they actually seem to take real time, it makes them look like they're actually holding internal debates for themselves for minutes at a time, which very few people actually do when you're in conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
I think another point to why I particularly feel that Death Note and even Codebreakers are particularly cringe shows is that when you're trying to be smart, the way you prove you are smart is by proving your work, right? You have to say like, oh no, this is the reason because X, Y, and Z will happen if you don't take the A, B, C into account, right? So you have to prove your workings. Whereas, at what point in time would someone think, that guy must be a serial killer because he won a tennis match, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no workings there, right?
No, exactly.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Nasuth?
No. Well, I was actually going to say, ask if we could pause just really, really quick.
Apologies, everyone. Nasuth highlighted the fact that my microphone was exploding whenever I was using the letter P.
Mm-hmm. And other words with a lot of breath to them.
Yeah.
So
Stinky sock acquired.
No, this is a fresh, clean sock. Thank you very fucking much.
With a little dangly bit that makes it look a bit sad.
Well, I've tried to.
Before I got a good pop filter and mic cover, that's literally what I was doing. So that's the only reason I knew that socks work.
Yeah. So apologies, because anyway, right. Let's continue. So I think a large part of the problem when it comes to things like, I find it particularly cringe in shows where they try to take themselves too seriously, and instead of showing their work, showing their findings, it's just trust, bruh.
Just trust. Yeah. Same thing with like Classroom of the Elite or Battle 5 Seconds After Meeting. Those are all super cringe for the exact same reason. They just not only is the main character doing things with no really good, solid evidence or explanation, but the characters around them. I saw a meme for Classroom of the Elite earlier that was like, all the characters were like, I want to do anything for you, main character. And he's like, I don't care about you at all. And yet they just keep doing it. And it's just like, oh my god, these characters, this is not how people behave. This is cringe.
Yeah. So, something that had the comparison with the show you're working thing came up for me with, just rang a little bell, Bleach. The end of the previous thing, before the 1,000-Year Blood War, the arc with Aizen in it, right? There was a little build-up to this, where Aizen, with the magic stone, the Hogyoku, evolved his power in such a way that the captains that were facing him couldn't feel his spiritual pressure anymore, couldn't feel his Ryatsu. And it's because it had changed the nature of it. It no longer felt like Ryatsu. Dragon Ball Z used this same, or Dragon Ball Super used this with God Ki. They used this, a few years after the fact, where you can't feel God Ki because it's not the same as regular Ki. And so it gave them a new avenue to explore down, in theory. New transformations, at least. But, so they built this up, and the only one who could feel it was Ichigo, because his Ryatsu is different to the other guys anyway. And so that's why they gave him the opportunity to go up against Aizen in the first place because he's the only one that thought that was likely to have a shot. And in the final fight, when Ichigo's been off-screen training and has got this massive power upgrade, when he comes back, Aizen says, "I can't feel your Ryatsu, yet you are strong." So that's what you've done. You've erased your Ryatsu and converted it all into physical strength, grip strength, speed, all of that, to try and fight with me without using it. And then he even goes on to this grandstanding, look at the swing of my sword as like chopped down the top of that mountain over there. Okay, that's how powerful I've become. Just the air from my sword pressure has sliced mountains in half. And it's then brought up.
That is pretty cringe.
No, mate. No, mate. What you said about, what everybody else felt about you, that they couldn't feel your Ryatsu anymore because you'd evolved. I've done that, and you can't feel mine anymore because I'm now more powerful than you. Which, it's this no showing of the working, but at the same time, the actual battle scene was fucking cool. So a lot of people just went along with it. It's definitely this cringe. No, I'm cooler than you. No, but I'm cooler than you. It wasn't your sword that cut that mountain, it was mine. That kind of thing, going back and forth. But because of the fact that...
So the cringe of that was not enough to overcome the base fight afterwards.
Well, in general, the fight that was going on, but also the escalation felt not absurd. It was taking the natural rules of progression of the show further and further into.
I think you just wanted an excuse to talk about Bleach. I don't think this.
Well, I mean, it's Thaylien. I mean, of course it is, but
but that's the thing.
No, genuine question here, right?
Yes.
Are all Shonen Jump shows
cringe?
Inherently cringe?
Ooh.
Right? We're talking Black Cat. We're talking Death Note. We're talking Chainsaw Man, My Hero Academia.
Is
Dragon
Chainsaw Man shonen?
Huh? Chainsaw Man and Shonen Jump.
Oh wow.
Is
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Is Death Note Shonen Jump?
Yeah.
Shonen, sure, but Shonen Jump?
Yeah, no, seriously. Just like Chainsaw Man. They do actually cater to a wide variety of audiences, not just the the young teens are like,
not just the 11 to 15-year-old range.
Right.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to double check because I'm pretty sure it is. Death Note. Someone punched that microphone. Death Note.
Sorry, that was me putting my drink down.
And thus he decided to assault her. That wasn't an invite to do it again.
You were about to say it.
Weekly Shonen Jump. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't.
Well, there you go, kids. If you too could be cringe enough to get into Shonen Jump.
It's true. I don't know if all Shonen Jump is cringe, but I mean, it does seem like a vast majority.
Straight up murdering people.
I mean, I'd argue that there are plenty of parts of Chainsaw Man that are pretty damn cringe. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love the Chainsaw Man manga.
I think Chainsaw Man is supposed to be cringe. Like, it's leaning into those moments. Like what's her name vomiting on Denji?
Dude, you don't have to go into detail.
Right, but that is a super cringe. Like, you watch that and you're like, oh my god, but that's the point of that scene, is to make you feel that way.
It's also
even the thing where Power Officer let him fondle her for if he does well.
Yeah, and again, it's supposed to feel that way.
Yeah, it's
his
supposed
life
to feel
is
like
cringe.
He's being cringe.
But like,
specifically because it was tragic.
But just because it's supposed to be cringe, surely that does in fact make it cringe.
It does. Wait, yes,
overall,
but I think
overall no, because you've taken moments of cringe and counterbalancing them with moments of epic.
Yeah,
it's like they're exploring.
Really good
it's like they're exploring
and
what cringe, like the real life cringe that exists.
I mean, like
as opposed to unintentionally cringe. I think it's an important distinction.
Yeah, so this is like leaning into it, right? As opposed to things like Death Note or Crow Breakers, which are trying to be so cool and edgy.
Yes,
they're actually just cringe.
Yeah.
You know, the Denji's life goals, shall we say, right? Sorry to be cryptic, but Denji's life goals are super cringe, right?
Yes.
But they also feel accurate for a stupid kid his age, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's... I said it before, but I think I'm going to double down on it. It's because Denji was such a tragic character in the opening. Okay, this is a man that's so down on his luck that he is having to like sell his eye, sell his organs to survive.
Yeah.
Right? He is a genuine tragedy of a man before this happens to him. It's like life's a bitch and then you die in this particular sense, except this time he didn't die. He was given another chance, and now he can be free to be cringe and chase his cringe dreams because the tragedy has evolved into an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good contrast in a character because it gives him his serious moments, it gives him his angry moments, it gives him his cringe moments, it gives him his development potential as a character. Okay, and I love that. I mean, could they have used another thing than cringe to give us our downtime moments? Could they have gone into something like more slapstick comedy, you know, for showing his normalcy, you know, when he's out of missions and when he's at home?
But I think they do often use the cringe for comedy, and that's sort of the same way the Eminence and Shadow does it, right? It leans into that and uses it for its comedy rather than just being so over the top serious that you're supposed to take it seriously.
I do think that so for anyone that doesn't know, Chainsaw Man is written by what's his name?
Is it Akasaka? No.
That's I'm pretty sure that's Oshi No Ko. Tasuki Fujimoto. I literally got the name up.
Speaking of cringe. Oshi No Ko.
We'll get to that in a minute because I'm pretty sure that's cringe because of the community, not because of the show. But you know, please keep that in your mind. But the thing is with Tasuki Fujimoto is he has gone on record to say that he is a huge fan of things like Chainsaw Man. You know, sorry, not Chainsaw Man. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre and things like. He loves horror movies, especially slasher flicks with like Jason Voorhees or Mike Myers.
And when you really think about it, those movies are very cringe.
Well, I mean, especially Jason X, which was like by far the best Jason movie known existed. It's so funny. But the whole point is that with inspiration of these horrible slasher flicks, I think you can't really have the disasters of Chainsaw Man compared with like the funny jokes of the caliber of say either Konosuba or Keijo or you know, any other comedy anime out there. I feel like the only avenue for pairing it up sort of thing is cringe. Am I making sense here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It can't be madcap. It can't be slapstick. It needs to be a little more grounded, and thus that means cringe.
I think so, yeah. So, Thaylien, you had a point with Oshi No Ko, I think.
Well, yeah. So you said about the fan base making it cringe, and I don't think so. Okay. I genuinely think that Oshi No Ko is a show that has far more unintentional cringe than it thinks it should have. Because the generals... I've heard an awful lot about the story. And I'm just double checking what I know based on, you know, just with a comparison here.
Okay.
So, the simple idea that you've got you got siblings from multiple parents that share relations, or you know, in that generation, and you've literally
wait. I think I glossed over that.
There are some direct siblings, right? And so Ruby and Aqua are direct siblings.
Twins. Yeah.
Yes. But you have Akane, who is an actress, and apparently Aqua shares a father with her.
How does only Aqua share a father? Surely the twins...
sorry, it's Aqua... So, it's the... it's just how the things phrase it here. Because Aqua finds out that this is the case, not that Aqua and Ruby together find out that they have this. Aqua finds out that they share a father. Sorry, it was bad phrasing.
Okay.
So the twins share a father with Akane. And there's a whole thing about whether the father is dead, but no, he might be a different actor, who's still alive.
Okay.
And they literally create an autobiographical screenplay about their mother, titled 15 Years of Lies, in the hopes of drawing this potentially their father actor, drawing his attention.
Right.
Is this actually in the anime, or is this in the manga?
Yeah. So this is the main plot of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it then turns into this kind of slightly psychotic murder mystery thing. That the actor Hikaru reveals he wishes to immortalize Ai's beauty by killing anyone who could surpass her. There's all sorts of ridiculous things, and I will not spoil the end of the
potentially
of the story.
Some of that might be true to life for how obsessive and crazy people can get around idols. That doesn't stop it from being cringe.
Yes,
those types of people are cringe. The guy
genuinely.
Who stabbed somebody else over a voice actress that he thought was oh, she's my waifu. That's super cringe. You shouldn't go doing that to people.
There's also solid scenes that support that Ruby and Aqua's relationship is a little bit more close than it should be.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the show. And there's a whole thing about reincarnation in there, and
we're not touching that now.
No. But that's it's a very overdramatic take on the idol life, as well as on the obsession you can form when you don't know the answers to who your parents are, who you are, where you've come from, so that you can know where you're going. And it gets very, very muddled. It never stops taking itself seriously. And people get... And justifiably, because of that, the fan base gets a little diverse as well.
Okay. I would like to take the opportunity here to spice up the show, right? This episode. And basically open the floor up to either of you two. I'm primarily looking at Nasuth, and say, right, pick an anime that I really like that you find a huge turn off. We already spoke about one prior to the show's start.
Oh yeah.
And talk to me about why you can't stomach it. And yeah, does that make sense?
The problem is I don't remember the anime that you like that I don't. I just forget about them.
I do think that is a large part of the problem, is people just instantly, oh, nope, don't want to remember any of that. That's out my brain.
Yeah, it has to be really memorable, like Death Note, like the potato chip in Death Note. That whole scene, completely memorable, completely cringe though.
since Nasuth is still deciding, I think I'm going to be controversial and point out that I think High School DxD is cringe.
Oh, why didn't I think of that one? That is true.
I mean,
High School DxD is cringe. But you're not going to deny that either. Because you look at that the same way I look at Eminence and Shadow in a lot of ways. You think the cringe is part of the funny.
It's cringe is acceptable when it's balanced out well by things you like.
I mean, yeah, it's yes and no. I mean,
see, this one comes back to me being a little bit more self-aware of what of what can draw me to a show, and this is why High School DxD doesn't balance out to me, because what draws me to the show, despite the cringe,
there's
is
one.
Solidly the waifus.
I think part of the big thing with High School DxD is Issei is particularly open about his thoughts and feelings of
his cringe thoughts.
Basically, yeah. Like he wants.
That is what they are. They are genuinely.
He's open about what he wants.
They power him up. In fact,
yeah. Well, I mean, to an extent.
Yes.
But at the same time, I don't think that people should be shunned for having these feelings or opinions or basically a sex drive. Right?
That's not what. That's not. Well, yeah, it is. It is cringe. It does make me feel embarrassed, but not because of the actual instincts, because they are what makes him a rather unique shonen protagonist in this sense, or seinen protagonist, however you want to call him. Is that he is very open about that. What makes it cringe is that it never goes anywhere, or doesn't seem to. Yes, it drives him to do some superhero things, but much like every show that is for this kind of age rating, it never really progresses beyond that. And the situations just become attempts at comedy based around his inability to follow through with his thoughts. And so that, to me, is where it comes in the cringe. That's where the cringe isn't balanced out, because the comedy is based around him being that way, and it then, them finding more and more reasons for it to not go that way. There are some things where you've actually got Rizz literally sleeping in his bed, and he's still under the misunderstanding where, in his mind, calling her the president is more important to him. It puts her on that pedestal for him and makes her special, whereas she wants him to just call her by name because she thinks that's what makes it will draw them closer.
Yeah,
and that's such a bland and obvious joke that it's not even funny.
But I don't necessarily think it is a joke. I think it's more a case of like this is. I mean, it's more a trope than anything else.
Yes, it is.
And
I think in this case, it's poorly executed. I mean, yeah. So the show, I will watch the show because cool fight scenes, lots of power ups, interesting enemies to fight, and of course, cute waifus. But I wouldn't actually choose to watch High School DxD over another show that I liked more, because the downsides to the show mean that I have to be in a particular mood to watch it.
I think a lot of what draws me into the likes of High School DxD is the
boobies,
the caliber. No, shut up, you. Is the caliber of the narrative
of Rizz's boobies? Yes.
How? Will you shut up? How many times? Why didn't you fucking interrupt Thaylien? Why are you interrupting me?
How can I stand for life? Because we're shitting on your show. That's why.
But the whole the big thing is that, like, how many harem shows are out there where a guy is incidentally collecting a harem, and he's oblivious to the fact Issei actually wants a harem, right?
Yep.
He is actively trying to do this, whereas again, Infinite Stratos,
those are cringe as well. Yeah,
Chivalry of a Failed Knight. There are so many shows out there where they have this harem opportunity, and I suppose don't act on it. Do I expect myself personally to act on any of these harem fantasies? No, not in the slightest, right? But at the same time,
you're not a fictional character.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not a fictional character, but like it's nice to see this juxtaposition comparing to other harem shows of Issei actually wanting a harem compared to every other one where it's just like, girls, icky.
So, do you want my other take?
Go on.
Or should we? Or is Nath's got one ready?
I've got two ready, so if you want to get your other one out of the way now, that's fine too.
Sure. Because this is a show I actually like for my own reasons, and it's Gate.
Well, that one, I would say, has cringe
Gate,
moments,
and so the JSDF thought.
Overall.
No, I'd say it's cringe overall because it's blatant weapon stroking for the JSDF.
Oh. Some propaganda, some good old propaganda.
At all times, it is just every other situation you get into on that show is just propaganda for a well-trained military self-defense force. Even putting our main character in there, the fact that he got through ranger training, and that puts him at a level above the common soldiery. Just even though he is a complete moron in terms of being in the military, just having gone through that training puts him above the common soldiery, because he managed to get into the JSDF Rangers.
But why is this cringe? Just because it's propaganda? Mm-hmm. Like, look at fucking...
yes, I find that very cringe.
Look at campfire cooking. Look at Laid Back Camp. Laid Back Camp is fucking propaganda for people to go camping, right?
Yes.
I do...
Magie Lumiere is actually cringe propaganda for small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
It is.
I like where you're going, but I don't know if I agree with that.
Tell you, this is why it's a controversial take for me, because other people won't see the harm in it. I see the harm specifically because it's the military. Okay, other people might say, yes, advocating for small businesses, for going out camping, for doing this or that, or showing how even there's a Space Dandy episode pointing out that classic machinist skills were better than anything else that was available, even in a high sci-fi universe. To show you sometimes had to go back to these basic skills. Those are all well and good because those are skills. That's going outside, doing things, being, camping. That's just going off and being free and experiencing nature. The military, however, I will not support the kind of propaganda that literally you are basically selling your body off in case of war, so that you can go and kill people, and that you are perpetually training for that concept.
I'm intrigued to know what Nasuth thinks.
One hand, it's the JSDF, right? So in theory, they're only supposed to defend Japan from other threats. And that can, in that case, Thaylien's not quite right. Because they're not going
in this
out.
Anime, what they do?
Yes, in this anime, to get around the fact that in the real world, Japan can't go out and use their military force in other places, they do it in a fantasy world because that gets around that. But in theory, they're not doing a war of aggression. They're protecting people in this land, so they're still filling the same. Is it wrong to go into the military in order to actually not be an aggressor, but to be a protector.
How many times do you think the JSDF's Rangers would win against Russian Spetsnaz, Navy SEALs, and UK?
Well, that's not really the question.
Yeah.
That's not really the question.
SAS. So, because that's one of the situations they literally pose in the anime, where foreign nation special forces are coming to there to try and kidnap the characters. And they put Japan's Ranger Force in to stop them and form a situation where, well, yes, eventually the fantasy magical girl has to go out and chop them all up with an axe, but the basic concept is that in a normal situation, Japan's going to stroke its own ego with their Rangers being better.
See, but that can be said about nearly anything. Look at Stargate SG-1. Right, okay, fine. We're talking about Western propaganda at this point, but the number of people that joined the Air Force in during the airing time of SG-1 was absolutely
massively
insane.
Increased.
Right? It's but I don't
support that either.
I mean, it's just part of the fantasy, or not fantasy, but the fictional structure as well. Anytime you have these are the best ghost hunters because they're in Japan, they're the best because exactly.
Here's a question, right? But here's a question for you, right? What if we had a show about running a restaurant, right? And that influences the perception of people. I should go run my own restaurant, right?
Yeah.
What if it was a case of, I should go work in an office business? Just go work in an office, right? What if it's a show about being a serial killer, right?
Again,
is that something that
entirely the point of Cringe being subjective? That's the whole point. This is exactly why I'm bringing this one up. Specifically because of the subjectivity, specifically because how different people's social values affect the situation. You don't agree with me on this one. And that's why it's a controversial take.
I think if this was more blatant propaganda and less...
I think this is pretty blatant.
Not compared to some of the things I've watched, though. Like Firefighter Daigo, that is literally just a recruitment anime.
Yes.
Right? Okay. This is not really a recruitment
That one I can actually
anime.
support, because joining the fire department is genuinely something that people should do, and the training for that will set you up for a much better life. And
but I would also argue that anime is way more people. Cringe.
Oh, yes. Not wrong. But that's the thing. Because of my personal values on this, any of the animes and show I will think is cringe because it's just toting the values of joining the military. And at no point do I think that joining the military is anything short of just training to kill people.
Oddly enough, I think more people will have bigger issue with Issei from High School DxD being a lecherous perv than propaganda to join the military. I think sexuality,
especially the JSDF, since they don't attack people.
Well, no, not just that, but it's just sexuality is a bad thing. It should be oppressed. We shouldn't talk
violence. Violence and drinking, fine. Sexuality, that's completely not. It should not be expressed. There's a lot of that double standard out there.
Yeah,
I am more comfortable with sexuality than I am with military, which is why I can. But then again, because I'll mitigate this. I really do enjoy Gate. Okay.
Yeah.
When I first watched it, I was actually really upset because they stole my fucking intro for my anime I wanted to make.
Lol.
Because it had that particular guitar riff. Wanted it. But no, I enjoyed the show, but I had to get over the cringe that I felt every time they showed the superiority of modern militaries and showed the organization of it and how it was so much better than the things they had in the past.
Here's a question for you. Right. What if it was a purely fictitious military? Things like pumpkin scissors, or to a worse extent, psychopaths. The only reason why I'm saying this is because I can actually see them on Nasuth's screen right now.
Absolutely fine. Tell you why I'm absolutely fine with that.
Why?
The same reason I'm fine with playing games like Warframe or Halo, where I will never ever touch a Call of Duty. It's the degree of separation.
Okay, but and here's a part of the problem when it comes to psychopaths, right? And I will give you the opportunity to potentially double back. With psychopaths, you have enslavement, right? Where people lose their human rights and become slaves because of their I'm going to commit murder potential, right?
That's not cringe. That's just wrong. Okay, so that's the thing. It's not
cringe. It's immoral.
Yeah, it's immoral, not cringe. See, I don't think that joining the military is immoral. I think that blatant saber rattling and gun toting is cringe because it's not something that's actually immoral to do. It's just something I look down on.
Actually, if you frame it that way, if you frame a gate as propaganda that Japan should be on the world stage, maybe you have something there for me. I'd have to think about that.
That's the entire thing is putting this special thing has happened in Japan, and every military wants in on it, and every country wants in on it.
But if Japan should be,
you gotta back it up with that because every country has their own. Doctor Who, everything happens in London, right?
Yes.
Spider-Man, everything happens in New York. Why did no other countries get a look in?
When I say the world stage, I mean as a military force doing things in our world, not as a military force doing things in a fantasy world.
There isn't the degree of separation with this. This is an actual thing of this is
because they're not.
It's a fantasy show. It's a fantasy show. There is that fictitious element. But the thing is that they're basing it off real-world military, real-world situations, and real-world values, and then bringing in the fantasy element.
You could say the same thing about Gundam to a degree.
I have a pivot, right? I have a pivot. Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka, right?
Yes.
Involves actual military organizations, including the JSDF, right?
Yes.
But it includes the all the other countries, America's involved, Russia's involved,
same thing with
China's
A-Name.
involved.
I mean, the army names are different, but they represent the same people.
No, but in Asuka, they are the legitimate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But go on.
At any point in Spec-Ops Asuka, would you say that them being in the military is taken as a positive? And not as as something that they are trying to get away from and recover from.
I'm not entirely sure by your question.
So,
but
so the difference I've had is in Gates, being in the military, in the Rangers, in JSDF, is
only ever portrayed in a positive light.
Only ever portrayed positive. Whereas in Spec-Ops Asuka, they have PTSD from being in the military.
One of them has PTSD.
One of them does. Military. But the others aren't exactly. There's a few that are flag waving supporters of their military. But those characters are not treated as if they're normal.
So the thing is, you also have specialist units that support the magical girls, who are just regular soldiers, who are JSDF soldiers and things, because one person on their own can't do the whole job, right?
No, you're right.
I would say that there is some sort of pimping of, I think it's just called the JSF, not the JSDF, because it's not defensive. It is actually more.
Yes.
and they do go to other countries and things like this. I think at one point they definitely go to Europe at one point, and they are more aggressors than anything else. Yes. I do think there is some degree of we do this because we are doing good, saving people, right? We don't actively.
But is that because the magical girls are doing good and saving people, or is it because Japan's military force is so epic?
It's a bit of both, right?
Okay. So there's a bit of a balance there, isn't there? Right.
Right.
And at no point, if you take the show as an overall, there isn't this sense that being one of these characters, being one of the supporters, is a wholly good thing.
But is that necessarily wrong in a story to have unambiguous good guys?
That's exactly the way this is coming down to a matter of perspective. Because I don't believe that modern militaries, as depicted,
are unambiguous good guys.
Are unambiguous good guys.
But that's part of the point of fiction, is that it doesn't have to be like the real world.
Having an individual, right?
It's an escape from the real world.
Okay. So I would say that Gate to me would be far less cringe if the military force that was depicted in this was depicted more as something that our main guys were having to push back against to preserve something that's better, rather than just going along with it. So this is the thing, is where it's coming down to perspective. I know you're questioning me on this, but this is my pure perspective, and something you guys aren't going to agree with. That I find this cringe because of the way it depicts a modern military. Okay,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's exactly why I brought it up in that sense, because I have that difference between me and the rest of you.
Yeah, I'm trying to change your subjective opinion, and that's impossible.
It's really interesting because, obviously we spoke about how Stargate influenced people joining the Air Force. Oddly enough, NCIS, they were kind of expecting people to join the Navy because of NCIS, and it's like, it didn't happen because NCIS is not the Navy, right? NCIS is Naval Criminal Investigation Service, right? So it's the Navy super cops. It's not the Navy, and it didn't happen. So I kind of see where Thaylien's coming from, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I don't agree, yeah. So should we move on to what Nasuth wants to...
Right, so I've got two. The first one I don't think you're really going to disagree with too much, and that is Prison School.
Okay.
I think this is another case of where the cringe is part of the enjoyment factor. So I think you would just fully admit that this one is cringe, yeah?
I just think this is ludicrous. I don't necessarily...
Yes.
I wouldn't say this is particularly cringe. I just think this is just completely and utterly ludicrous.
I think it leans heavily onto the moral value side of cringe, where you get the second-hand embarrassment because of what these characters are going through and the way they're thinking about things.
Now, admittedly, I haven't watched this show. I've only seen bits and pieces in my editing duties. But the goals of the characters, the plans they come up with, the way those plans go awry and lead them into questionable situations, the attitudes of the guards, everything about this is so full of cringe. But
to me,
you're right that it is over the top cringe.
But to me, it's not necessarily cringe. It is just ludicrous. Like, at what point in time do you draw the line? So for everyone's benefit,
can something not be ludicrous and cringe at the same time?
I don't know.
Can.
I mean, but the big thing is that with Prison School, the whole premise is that this school used to be an all-girls school, right? And they started they started making it co-ed, right? But the problem was that the the girls thought like anything the guys were doing was like some degree of harassment, right?
Yes.
So there was a special building, like this literal prison school, built in the middle of the campus, right? So that you had the four walls of the actual school itself, and then in the middle of the campus, this courtyard, there was a special building that was the prison school. And you have these characters that are like, you know, overly developed female characters that are like, there's no way on earth you would have this. And it is supposed to take the piss out of a prison, effectively. You know, they can't leave the school campus. They can't, you know, they can't attend regular classes. They've basically got to be there for like the entirety of their education. And like, to me, it's so ludicrous. Like, how on earth are they not allowed to leave the school ground? Why aren't their parents kicking off? Right? Why, you know, it is just so far-fetched to me that
yes,
it's completely unbelievable.
It is, but it's not
and unrelatable because it's so unbelievable.
Yes, well, that's the thing, because it's not the main characters, the plot. It's not the guys or the plot that we're supposed to relate to in terms of cringe. It's the jailers. It's the other main characters that are putting them through this, that are serious about the situation and are actually the ones enforcing all of this, when we know that they are just cracking down on morals that they hold unfairly, to the point it's absolutely ridiculous. You know, so the idea that men are innately bad and must be imprisoned to even attend the school, and how let's put it this way, the sexuality in the show is brought up in a way that is purely meant to try and play off how ridiculous the show is, right?
I mean, like,
an entire conversation.
To me, things like shows are excused of being cringe purely based on how ludicrous, how impossible these things would ever, you know, none of this stuff would ever fucking happen, right?
No.
Like, you know, no school, like, look at how many anime shows are out there where you have a student council that has more power than the actual staff, right? It's
absolutely.
like, no, that would
You're
never
right.
fucking happen, right?
Okay, but here's the thing. The plot is ludicrous, the settings are ludicrous. The cringe comes in specifically because the characters themselves aren't feeling the embarrassment and are completely confident in what they're doing, and we are feeling the second-hand embarrassment.
Yes.
Okay, it's like Chunibyo as a thing, as a concept. We feel second-hand embarrassment for it because they are completely confident, they're completely overcompensating and saying ludicrous things. And all kids go through a similar phase. It's, you know, not, you know, whether how long it is.
There's also just so much blatant fan service that I feel a little bit of cringe for even people who watch it and are like, yes, this is fine.
There's a whole arc with the girl on screen right now wetting herself.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, well, you say a whole arc. The thing's only like, what, 12 episodes long? I mean, how long is this arc?
It's a subplot around like 4 episodes.
But the whole thing is that it's not an arc. If it's only a subplot in 4 episodes, anyway.
That's an arc.
Whole
character arc.
It's a subplot anyway. The whole thing is that I do not comprehend, right, why fan service is cringe. I cannot comprehend this. Right?
The fan service isn't cringe.
I think it is.
It's look at High School DxD, right? Why Why is female nudity super cringe, right? But male nudity is not.
Whoa! I never said that. I think they're both cringe.
No. I'm not saying you said that.
Okay.
I'm asking the question.
In general,
right?
okay.
Yes, in general. Why is there this canyon of acceptability where, oh no, we can't have sexual portrayal of female characters, but we can have the male characters?
Well, this actually all goes back to the patriarchy and toxic masculinity. But we don't have enough time to get into that, I don't think.
Right.
Think of it as a historical balance, Xeno.
Right.
The reason people are reacting badly to it now is because historically, the fan service is literally just so far biased towards the female side,
right,
and there's been none on the male side, that people are trying to tip it the other way to bias it for the other thing, where you have far less fan service of the women and more fan service of the men, just to spend some time tipped the other way on the scales.
A part of me feels that, because look at Bang Braven, right? There was a lot of half-naked men in that, right?
That was
but no one spoke about it, and a part of me wonders if the reason why it's cringe for fan service is because it's not the fan service that's cringe, it's the fans that are cringe. It's the people that make it blatantly obvious that look at how many every
dodgy
one of
camera
us
angles.
Dodgy camera angles is sure, but look at every one of us knows at least one woman in our life that have had the situation of my eyes are up here. Yeah, every single one. I've been at bus stops with a friend of mine, and another guy's turned up with his girlfriend, and then starts oogling my friend. I'm like, guy, you're not being subtle in the slightest, right? Your girlfriend's gonna spot you and just fucking lamp you in a second. You gotta stop, right?
I did have a little bit of success with the Homer Simpson route.
What, phase into a bush?
Which is when somebody says my eyes are up here, I have made my choice.
But that's funny, right?
But that got the humour, and therefore it diffused a little bit of the cringe.
But at the same time, my point is that look at JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Look at how many people that make the joke, I must be gay now, right? Because they like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, right?
Yeah.
That is but no one is lambasting JoJo. No one is lambasting Bang Braven. No one is lambasting Onegai Muscle, right? For having these overly hypersexualized male characters. No one cares.
Yeah, because it's tipping the balance the other way, and they feel that that's completely deserved. So that's a historical thing. It's the same thing as, I mean, not to go too far off topic, the fact that people are absolutely fine, many people are absolutely fine with with roles in remakes and things being changed over in terms of ethnicity.
Yeah.
Right? And the shout back against that is largely driven by the people that have enforced the need for it in the first place. The kind of people that were against the ethnicity in the first place and made sure that many of the shows were completely whitewashed originally. So they feel that, yes, it's absolutely fine to go the other way and have that bias towards other ethnicities for a while, even if it may not be completely appropriate to the role, because it's been the other way for so long. It's a reflex and as a pushback against that historical standard, rather than any real need for common sense and logic. it's perspective. It's entirely perspective.
I would also argue that in the cases that Xeno brought up, it's usually played completely for laughs and not very much for sexualization. Whereas the other side of the angle can be played for laughs, but tends to very much be much more sexualized.
But at the same time, I think that is down to perspective, because you know what the laws are in Japan about nudity and things, to the point of, you know, if it is for sexual gratification, it must be blurred out, right? So that's why High School DxD got the blur out treatment, right? Fair enough, right? It was there for that reason. But then you have other shows that are now getting blurred out just because it might be kind of maybe. We can't really tell. And it's just like, you don't.
Yeah. So, okay.
Anyway, the other one.
We've gone into this sexuality thing. Let's move on a little bit.
The other one I had was, I think it's this one. It was Misfit of Demon King Academy. I'm not sure. Yes, that is this one. Okay, good. And that's...
I think I know where you're going with that.
I don't.
Like, I liked the fact that when the Demon King reincarnated, you know, he could instantly talk and everything and do all that stuff. But then, like... Yeah. The fact that he starts gathering his harem and everyone just kind of loves him, and, you know, there's just it turns so generic power fantasy really fast, and anytime you start to hit that level, it gets a little on the cringe side.
I wouldn't have said generic power fantasy. There's definitely the power fantasy. It's I would say the show's theme keeps it from, because he's not some underdog that's suddenly been given a power that makes him super powerful. He's just super powerful, and he knows it, and he's going to go out and do the things he's doing. Has his plan he wants to do, and so I don't think that's the same lineup as it would be for another, like, reincarnated isekai style of power.
I love our contrasting views on Misfit of Demon King Academy and The Eminence in Shadow, because they are so damn similar as shows. They are so damn similar. You can't deny that. Right? There's such a, like, fucking Sid is surrounded by so many more women than Anos is. Right?
I mean, he doesn't really want to have anything to do with them. Well, Anos is like, yes, worship
Anos
me.
Doesn't care.
Yes,
Anos is like, No, he doesn't. He's like, I'm going to do what the fuck I want.
He uses their worship to literally win the day.
Well, point of order. He does it because the other side did it, but did it worse.
Yeah.
So he wanted to show that he was more powerful because he could engender that kind of reaction.
He had better cheerleaders.
So that was more just on his power fantasy, not anything. It's him saying, I could beat you another way, but I'm going to beat you at your own game, and I'm going to do it better because I'm only going to have 10 girls singing my song.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. It just, you know, it's not the worst, but it's got some. You like it a lot, and I feel like it's really just got some cringe elements to it, and that's fine.
I do kind of get where you're coming from, but the reason why I like the Misfit of Demon King Academy is, one, it's not just Anos the entire time, right? We do have some decent character development with the twin sisters, with his best friend, with all the characters, there is a decent amount. The only ones that don't get a decent amount of development are the cheerleaders, right? And I don't like that, right? The world is pretty damn well diverse, except for I don't like in each season. It's just like, oh yeah, and we also have this nation over here to our right that we didn't look at for an entire season. Don't worry, it was always there.
Actually, Cena, I am going to disagree with you for that one.
Go on.
I would argue that Sakura from Naruto had more character development than any of the side characters in Misfit of Demon King Academy, and people still hate her for being a bland, uninteresting character.
No, Sakura has no fucking character development whatsoever. She decides instead of actually taking a kunai and stabbing someone in the gut, she's going to cut her own fucking hair. She's a fucking moron and had 500 episodes to develop and she did nothing. Whereas, I don't want to spoil anything. The fucking teacher in this screenshot, I can't fucking work out where my hand is. That in this screenshot has significantly more character development than Sakura and fucking Naruto.
Yeah, but you say about the girls, all that happened with the girls supporting him was that they got to use their power more by stopping disliking each other so much.
No, are we talking about the cheerleaders? Because they were the ones I was complaining about.
No. You said had the twins. The twins. They stopped disliking each other so much, and then they were able to take part in the battle with their power, and then they've fallen into the background largely.
What?
And it's just him. They're tagging along with him on the rest of the adventures.
You have not seen any of season 2.
I think I have. Where they're in the Fairy Kingdom.
That's season 2, part 1, right?
Yeah, season 2, part 1. So yes, I have seen some of season 2.
Okay.
I've seen the entirety of season 2, part 1.
Okay.
And I still think they're just tagging along after him.
Okay, hold on. Did you see all of season 2, part 1? Because do you remember it got put on hiatus halfway through and didn't come back for 2 seasons?
That's cringe. That's cringe right there.
That
is absolute cringe.
It get put on hiatus. Anyway, yeah. I do kind of get where Nasuth is coming from, though.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from, and that's a perspective that I kind of agree with, but not all the way.
My biggest
I'm on the fence with that.
My biggest problem with
it feels too serious. It feels like the characters are taking it too seriously too, and I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
I do get where you're coming from, but at the same time, the problem I have,
the stuff that makes me laugh the most, probably.
I'm never gonna get to talk.
No, you're not. Is the interactions with his parents, knowing that he's only 6 months old or something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
3 by the time he joins school.
Stuff like that is ridiculous enough that it's hilarious.
Right. The thing is, the reason why I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill the pair of you. Fuck you both. Right. The reason why I don't like the Eminent Sin Shadow is not because of Sid, right? It's the sheer fact that the other characters around Sid seem to just get progressively stupider, right? But it's true that look at his sister, right? His sister doesn't interact with him for 2-3 years. He finally goes to the same school as her, and then all of a sudden she's super obsessed with him, and she's depicted as always chasing after him, but he's always avoiding her. Huh?
But of course hasn't for years before that.
Yeah, exactly. Why didn't she ever run home to go see him? It's weird, right? Again, I always rip the piss out of the whole
onsen scene.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that again. But you've got God, is one of the princesses? I can't remember her name. The blonde one. She just gets progressively stupider as well. It's just what is your motivation behind anything? Oh, it's whatever that guy told me. Why?
You haven't seen season 2.
No, I haven't. But it just feels to me that the characters, look at the fucking episode where they spend half the episode, or actually what felt like an eternity, in a fucking shopping in a room trying to buy lingerie.
But
That is
see,
pretty cringe.
I would rather have stupid, memorable characters than bland background characters that just fade into the background. I can't even remember, the difference between any of them.
You say that, and
they're
yet
interesting for an episode and then vanish again.
You say that, and yet the entirety of Sid's entourage is the Greek alphabet.
Yeah, but they've all got unique personalities.
Do they though? I can tell you Alpha.
Stupids.
I can tell you Alpha, Gamma, Delta. No, wait. Shit.
Delta.
Which one's
Delta's the dog one.
No, I haven't actually properly met her yet. Which is the one that runs the shopping mall?
Shoot. I don't remember.
Proving my point!
I don't remember their name.
Remember them! Remember
that I'm terrible with names.
It's the Greek alphabet, Nasuth! It's not hard!
She's the clumsy one.
Right, okay. And then there's the one that's obsessed with, what's called Shadow's antics and writes them as a book. I don't know which one that one is, right?
Yeah,
and then there's the one that...
but you don't know, just because you don't know her name, you clearly remember the character. She's the one obsessed with Shadow, and
she fades into the background and appears twice in the entire show. Not wrong. Anyway, we're now taking pot shots at each other, but I think we should stop. So, I think we should...
Can I pivot?
Okay. Sure.
What show did you guys think was going to be cringe, but ended up being alright?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I could tell you one show that's cringe, and I still enjoy it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, go ahead.
And that's A Sister's All You Need. This show is so cringe. I showed Loz and another friend the first episode. I genuinely thought they were going to throw something at me within the first 5 minutes because of how cringe it starts up.
But then the moment they slam the papers on the desk, it's like, yes, I see. I see.
Yes, that then goes, wait, what? What just happened, right? And then it slowly builds up to, this is odd. I want to know more. It is super cringe, but weirdly interesting.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it turned out great, but Ragna Crimson started out... Wait, did I get the right one? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's right.
Started out super, super, super cringe. I mean, Zeno and I do not... Oh, yeah. With the
after the first episode, or...
No, we're mostly talking about, the first 2 episodes. I mean, even you were like, oh man, this is awful. I don't like this.
No, after the first
characters
2 episodes.
Yeah. So it started out really pretty cringe. And then it never completely got rid of the cringe, but it kind of leaned into it in a weird way. Started using it more for comedy and less for, this is what the show, the show's going to be serious, all the time, just 100% serious. No, it started leaning into some of the comedy aspects. The characters became a little bit more actual characters, that sort of thing. But
I know what he's talking about. I thought the first 2 episodes were good, and then it just went completely, nosedive off a cliff. It was the drop in goodness of this show just ceased to exist. It was just this show was awful after episode 2.
You didn't.
That's fair enough. See,
I thought you
the reason
dropped it
I
after
asked,
episode 2.
No, I got to 3 episodes, maybe even 4. But then I dropped it.
Oh, right, because you got to where they went to Crimson's little pocket dimension and got the guns.
Yeah, and I was just like, what the fuck is this even?
Fair point.
Anyway.
So, the reason I asked is because there was a show that I genuinely thought was going to be completely cringe. And I end up watching through 4 seasons of.
Yep.
Dan Machi. Is it wrong to pick up girls in the dungeon?
Season 1 does start off kind of cringe.
No. I thought it was going to be cringe. This is again, I thought my initial thing going into that show was the title, the main character, the hype around this, the advert where we saw the bouncing blue ribbon, and I thought, that's going to be cringe. Let's watch it anyway.
Oh, come on. Watching them brush their teeth and stuff, that was pretty cringe. That's
the intro! It's not in the show!
No, it is.
So that was the thing. I thought it was going to be, but the show doesn't actually play out like that.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, I mean, there are and so that's a show that I ended up watching for 4 seasons. I need to catch up on the 5th because I want to talk about it with Xeno, in the 12 episode rule, in the season roundup. Because it ended up being way better than my expectations. I was expecting to go into this with this whole thing of trying to actually pick up girls in a dungeon.
That's just going to be another harem anime, yeah.
I did think it was going to be another harem anime fantasy shenanigans, but the name doesn't do it justice in the slightest.
No,
right?
Nor does the opening sequence.
I wonder if the name's actually direct translation, or if it's just got like, oh no, we're gonna mix it up a bit.
They do like to do that.
They do like to do that, but yeah. So I think from the name, I didn't have high expectations at all. Season 1 of Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon isn't the best, right? But at the same time, it's okay, it's good, but the show just gets better and better and better each time with each subsequent season.
So,
but then again, there's.
I have a question about one of the shows in here. And admittedly, I haven't watched it, but why is Kampfer cringe?
So we can ask the intern right now.
Do you know what the plot of Kampfer is?
Vaguely.
So I can envision why it's cringe, primarily because of the simple fact that the guy who likes the girl is rejected by the girl until he is transformed against his will into another girl, right? So the guy as a girl is accepted, but the guy for himself is not. And I can see that as secondhand embarrassment, like, you're only liked because you're a girl. So I can understand where that
is there a lot of girl on girl fan service as well?
Yes.
Is there?
A reasonable amount, but most of it.
A reasonable, yeah.
A reason I would say that this is cringe is that is a statement on lesbianism, basically, in the sense that she's absolutely all out on it, and it doesn't seem to matter that she turned the guy down in the first place, because when he turns into a girl, that's all she sees. And it's a rather skin-deep assessment of what she finds attractive. And the messaging for that seems to be, oh yeah, lesbians be crazy, yo.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
But at the same time, this falls into a bit of spoiler territory, but I feel that that's not a fair assessment to make, only because of who the lesbian is, right? It's like, it's not all of them, it's just one of them.
That one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and who that one is kind of reveals everything, right? So I don't want to go into any detail, because in all honesty, I do genuinely enjoy Kampfer. I think it's a fun show that a lot of people. Again, I asked the intern came back with over-the-top fan service, gender-bending premise, weak plot and world building. I mean, it's set in Bleach, Japan. What kind of world building do you need? Cliched and one-dimensional characters. I kind of get it. Does,
but you end up getting that with a lot of comedy shows anyway.
Yeah, cringeworthy humor. Lack of resolution. I don't see lack of resolution as a cringeworthy thing. It's like, yes, it doesn't end properly. Again, I found that out when I rewatched it recently.
But that's more just annoying than cringe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an annoying trope that can be cringe when it's done badly, I'd say. Which leads us to our tagline, it's fine if it's done well.
Yeah.
I was going to say the fact that Good Luck Girl didn't get an ending. That's not cringe, that's just annoying.
Yeah. Right. Is there anything else we want to...
I think I'm pretty good.
I mean, all we really have in summary is just amazingly how much perspective you need to really analyze why we find anything cringe.
I also think...
We really do. It's surprising. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Bless you.
That's cringe.
Might sneeze again.
It's only cringe because I am an agnostic.
But I think another thing is that it's important to sort of like challenge yourself because, again, I thought my friends were going to murder me when I showed them A Sister's All You Need, right? But they were quite intrigued to where it was going to go. Yes, cringe is all hell, but they were like, they thought it was funny. Yeah? So
the only way to truly know if something is cringed is to do a vibe check and see if it's got that Skibidi rizz or not.
You shut
Absolutely.
up. But I think the important thing is you should at least give everything a shot. You shouldn't realistically.
And if something turns you off,
any one person says.
If something turns you off, try and really, sit down for a little bit and think about why. Don't just like, literally. I know I just said vibe check, but don't just vibe check.
But it's also, that's why I still like Gate. Even though I find one aspect of it to be cringe and to be something that I would not enjoy, it's the show itself. I enjoy it. Yeah. So there are, even if there is one or two aspects about a show that you don't like, always try and do the balance to make sure that there isn't something you're missing that could really help you enjoy a show.
I don't really like fan service, if that hasn't become clear through the course of this episode. But I love Konosuba because of the way it uses that fan service.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because every single girl in that is terrible.
Yeah. Well, every single person in that is terrible. But yes.
That's not entirely true. But
in unique and interesting ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
even the girl that they're supposed to put in as the normal one is in some way terrible.
Which one?
Oh,
girl?
Union.
Oh, Union.
Oh, justice for Union. Right.
Yes, I support the Soviet Union.
Oh. Should we move on to the rest of the... Okay, right. Cool, so moving on to the supporter questions. Recuse plus coffee equals redacted asks, it is now time for the supporter questions. So, while I ready them, would you kindly, wonderful people on the internet, give this episode a like and give this channel a subscribe and share this with any other episode.
Share this or
any other episode. If you want.
I think that's just
but definitely comment. Nasuth needs words to scarf down to feed his warm and kind yet black as pitch soul. Right? Recuse plus coffee equals
I will point out that's a really good
Would you enjoy
term.
an anime based on 2 Point Hospital or Timberborn? 2 Point Hospital, the anime would be hilarious.
I feel Timberborn would be something that Miyazaki would do.
Oh, yes. Or just Ghibli in itself, but yes, 100%.
Yes.
Right.
Something,
I just feel like
it's more ingenuity against nature and the forces of maybe some destruction rather than You know, rather than a dedicated antagonist thing.
Yeah. Zrugal asks, if you could change something about your family, what would it be?
Their tax bracket.
The ability to knock when I'm asleep.
I would like mine. Mine alive.
Oh, that's made me sad now.
Yeah.
That's dark. I'm sorry.
That's inside you.
I would like the family that I do have to not be so far away because they are in another continent.
That's
there you go.
Nasuth inside you asks, Gandhi is well known for having walked everywhere barefoot. It led to him developing thick calluses, tougher than many boots. He also ate very little and fasted often, which left him frail and gave him bad breath. This means he was a supercalifragilistic... Oh, fuck you, Nasuth.
A supercalifragilistic hexed by halitosis.
Moving on to Thaylien 2099 asks, hellhounds in anime are depicted as flaming dogs that are intrinsically magical. In theory, this means they could cast magic spells by drawing out the right symbols in dirt or sand. Do you agree that this means a hot dog could be a sandwich? Sandwich. Oh my god. You know what? Fuck it, yes. Right.
That's witch with a T. W-I-T-C-H.
It's a sandwich.
Yeah. Right. Thaylien 2099 also asks, Xeno, I need some help. I've been gathering data at work recently to figure out the frequency of certain events that happen throughout the year. I want to use a data lake to store the raw data for later processing, but my boss is insisting on warehousing it with strict schemas. I would appreciate your advice on how to convince him to lake my bulls. Oh my god. I hate you both. I fucking hate you both. Right. Am I gonna fucking put a ban on puns? That's what's gonna happen now. Just gonna put that all through ChatGPT and say like, hey, is this a pun?
Is my favorite.
Oh yes, both. Right, moving on to the comments from last week. So first of all, we got the comments from the news. Strombus Shell says, potato. That is all.
Potato.
Cool.
Potato.
Oh wow, with all the studios in the new Star Wars Visions, it looks like it could be a great one. I am somehow not surprised that Power Rangers memorabilia brought in so much. R.I.P. Jason David Frank.
Yeah, R.I.P. indeed.
Yay, Link Click Season 3. Season 2 ended on such a horrible cliffhanger. Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Fair.
Next, the comments from the cast. Zrugal says, I agree with Nasuth. No, you don't. I agree with Nasuth. Gunbuster escalates very quickly, and I think it fits the situation. What were we talking about last week? I can't remember. Starters. That was it.
Yes.
Yeah, beginnings.
Yes.
Right.
Beginnings.
I agree with Xeno. If Spider had been done in chronological order, it would have been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure to remember the conclusion you came to next time I make an anime.
We're looking forward to it.
Yes.
The memes were super good this week. 10 out of 10. Thanks for Kanpai this week, guys.
You're welcome.
And Strombus Shell says, I definitely think first impressions matter. That's why we use the 3-episode rule. But shows that subvert expectations of quality are some of the best shows. And I think you guys were right when you pointed out that the couple of times that you did. Yeah. Shows that try to subvert general expectations, on the other hand, walk a fine line. As the saying goes, it's fine if it's done right, because if it's not, then it's usually pretty awful. Great episode, guys. Thanks
we need to make merch with that on it.
It's fine if it's done right. Oh my god.
We need a stamp that we can bring up. Just
we also need one for Cum Brothers as well. We can't forget
Cum Brothers.
Yeah, can't forget that. Yes.
And now it's time for the best part of the show, which is the memes.
Right. Most of our memes come from Reddit. I think Xeno's got a couple of this week that come from somewhere else. And for this, a couple. We curate them on our website, which is linked in. They're all linked in the description below, so that you can go back and look at them anytime you want, even if Reddit or Instagram or whoever deletes them. And we also take viewer memes, which I believe Thaylien said at the beginning of the show. May not have. I can't remember. Which you can come to the Discord and drop them in a channel that is invisible to us. Only our very special helper sees it, and then they gather the memes for us and put them in here where we react to them as they appear on the show. And we've got four of those this week.
You're seeing our first reactions to them.
Yes. So we got 4 this week. 4 of your memes.
Simplicity, patience, compassion. These are your greatest treasures. True love is Taoist. True love is born from understanding, which is a Buddhist. Kill anyone you don't like.
Vegeta no.
Vegeta,
Vegeta,
yes.
Yes. Sane. Lol. Not wrong.
Me trying to sleep. My brain.
Embarrassing shit I did 6 years ago. Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh, that face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that show is so good.
That was the movie.
Monkey Duo Luffy.
Oh my god.
Oh no, he's coming for me.
Oh my god.
He's coming for your One Piece.
Oh my god.
You didn't do your lessons today.
Oh no. Congratulations, One Piece, for your achievement. Well, One Piece has been voted as the gayest manga by Japan. How did we lose?
Oh my god.
Right, on to my memes. Jake Paul's next opponent.
Nice.
Yeah, you've Shikanokanoko'd your last Koshitan turn.
Oh.
Not everything needs to be turned into an anime girl.
But I'm glad you did.
But Google said it was a PNG.
Relatable as hell. Relatable as hell.
Oh, I hate that.
I love BTR. Me too. Big Time Rush versus Bocchi the Rock.
Bocchi the Rock.
Nice.
Dunkin' Donuts employee accused of killing customer with one punch after he was called a racial slur. Hell yeah.
Wow.
And
awesome.
my last one. POV. I have no enemies because I'm just a chill guy.
Oh no.
If you don't know the chill little guy meme, there you go.
Also, if you don't know the manga, that's
yeah, it's also true.
Yeah.
What's that manga?
It's Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga, yes.
Okay.
Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
Right, on to Thaylien.
You were expecting anime memes, but it was me, Astley.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh god.
The difference between these two pictures.
Oh my god.
That's so mean and so true.
Elf involved shootout. Suspect mistook cosplayer as real demons. Old Dungeon's being demolished to make way for McDonald's and other fast food restaurants. More at 5.
Dear God.
What's wrong? You got nothing else to say?
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead. This has been the greatest social experiment of my entire life.
What the fuck?
So that's Nikocado Avocado, who recently dropped a ton of weight. He disappeared from the internet for a year or something.
Oh shit, yes!
And then dropped a ton of weight.
But he had pre-recorded content that he put out to make it look like he wasn't gone.
Yeah.
And so he's suddenly turned up thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think time moves slower around objects with a larger mass because it lowers the FPS of the simulation? Huh? Sorry, that was a strange thing to ask.
I haven't used one of these in a while.
Yeah, that's why I saw it. I thought, yes, I have to.
Welcome back to Anime Protagonists Anonymous.
How's my favorite batch of muffin boys?
Goku!
Go who? Respect your elders! I'm twice your age. Before anything else, let me say hi to my three stooges.
What up, not pervy sage?
You know it, still haven't kissed a girl.
Don't you have a kid?
Yes!
And there goes my curiosity.
Hey, if it isn't my favorite, punch your face!
Oh, nice try, fellow monkey boy.
Gonna kick the Z-Kai out of you one of these days, Gramps.
And you're cute for trying. Now how's my favorite sourpuss?
Sour, how the fuck are you, old man?
Still proud of you, that's how I am. Tissue?
No.
Tissue for later when you're alone?
Thank you.
Hello, you're an inspiration!
Oh, my dude, you are wound incredibly tight.
Yeah, this is that one kid I was telling you about.
Oh, you mean the head case? Say, Mini-Me, you know what that thing you do when you don't remind yourself by how helpful you are to other people?
Yes?
How about don't?
No!
Well, I tried.
Good morning, Mr. Son.
Told you no, buddy. Hey, it's not your fault.
Agree to disagree.
Can't disagree with facts.
The current state of the world would beg to differ.
Got me there. Never thought I'd miss the 90s.
Hiya!
Hey, Naruto, is this your son? No, really weird, because I'm getting a deja vu all over this kid.
Rude.
Hey, it's the little German boy.
I resent that.
I bought you a little treat.
Forgiven.
Hey, it's that other German boy. You look different.
Genocide is my love language.
Kind of feeling like anime left me behind at some point, and you must be the new guy.
Oh yeah, I'm Kafka.
Get out.
Sorry,
They've killed me 4 times.
why would they do?
I'm a 50-year-old virgin with great grandkids.
How is that possible?
They just keep making money, man. They won't let me go.
But that's just.
Get out while you can. Well, I got another season to make. See you later.
Wow, we're all gonna be just like him in 40 years.
Shit,
That was great.
Kafka. Who's Kafka?
Oh.
Kafka Hibino. Hang on.
Oh god,
Oh
this is
my
breaking my
gosh.
brain. I know the name. This is breaking my brain.
Oh, he's Keijo number 8.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
I'm so
Oh my
pleased
God.
that all worked.
That's so good.
Oh,
All right,
God,
Zeno.
damn that, man.
See if you can beat these.
How's my little German boy? I resent that.
Honestly, the dub wasn't that bad.
Good start.
I saw that coming, but still, it was funny.
Amelia is just Furen before she fell for Himmel.
What the? Oh, that elf is living my life.
What the fuck?
This is Papers, Please, but Bocce.
Oh.
Remember the Kosoko band at the bottom?
Yeah, I recommend people go check out. This is my third meme in the description because you'll be able to see like the full picture and it's so much easier to read and everything.
Yeah.
But it's got like the transcript is so why are you here? So why are you trying? Why are you here today? Is that oh you're on the band and you know it's really funny.
Look at that smug face.
Yep.
Indeed.
Bocce the D.
Oh no.
Yep.
Even the car's nervous.
Well, that's because she crashed. Right, and then my
Nice.
last meme. And then my last meme. It is about a minute long.
Go take a bath while it rests.
Stretch it out. Add your choice of toppings. Lightly sprinkle flour. Cut off the tip of the dragon's tail.
Ah, that's so wasteful!
Get it? Cut the meat.
The fact that they passed the audio from the show through a filter to make it sound like it's coming from a Game Boy.
A DS, yeah.
Dip it. It's ready.
Oh. Cute. Very cute.
Yep.
dear.
Absolutely loved that one. I thought it was awesome. Right.
I don't know if it beats Thaylien's, but it was good.
Oh, come on, my first one was beat Thaylien's.
Nah.
You pissed yourself laughing.
Nah.
You pissed yourself. I know you pissed. Anyway, right, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching and or listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Kanpai!
Oh, I've still got some left.